All right, guys, welcome back. It's Wednesday, August 30th, after market close. Hope everyone down in Florida made it out to the other side of Hurricane Idalia. Saw some footage. It looked like a lot of flooding, so hope everything is good down there and hope you had a great Wednesday. Before I jump into today's session, I just want to give you the title. It's going to be called Window Dressing. Hey, everyone says that it doesn't happen, right? Like Wall Street can't press a button to make the end of month look better on their statements, but here we are, bouncing pretty strongly into the close of the month. Maybe it's a coincidence every month, who knows? But before I jump into the numbers, I actually am really excited. I think it's really cool, and it's just more of a pat on my own back. Herb Greenberg, you may have heard of him. He's pretty famous. He's always on like CNBC, Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance, you name it. He's everywhere. But he restacked one of my Substack notes, and I believe he recommends me as well, and we recommend each other on Substack. So it's quite a treat to a small Substacker, writer, podcaster like myself in the same breath as Herb Greenberg. Thank you, Mr. Greenberg, for restacking my note. And if you're listening to the podcast, I am very humbled that you would recommend me on your recommended list. But I digress. Let's jump in to today's session on Wednesday. Again, it's going to be called window dressing because we're going into a 3-day weekend. For some of us, it's a 4-day weekend. For the elite, we're all, not we, I don't want to say I'm elite, but many are off all week, starting last Friday. So it's going to be, generally speaking, lower volume and lower volatility. But not much change today. And you might be saying, what? The market actually closed up a lot. And you're right, it did. But underneath the surface, we made some progress on the 50-day moving average for many shares. But what I mean by nothing has really changed was during the middle of the day, we rocketed higher. The Dow exceeded 35,000. And right after 10 a.m.-ish, it sold off. And we're just basically treading water all day. The NASDAQ was the strongest of the indices. It closed up 0.5%. Look, it's a strong day. It's green. A lot of things were green today. But it was kind of like if you watch tennis, it was a deuce. Or, like when you're looking at a serve game, because I'm only bringing this because the U.S. Open in Queens is going on in Flushing Meadow Park. But it's like, when you're watching tennis matches, like, it's love. It was a par day. And I'll give you some of these numbers. Like Microsoft, it was up 0.12%. Nvidia was up 1%. Okay, great. Google up 1%. But Meta was down 1%. Apple was up 2%, almost 2%, 1.92. And Apple bulls really need that, right? I'll go through some of the technicals analysis a little bit later on. So what was green? Nothing to panic about. JP Morgan down 0.4%. Bank of America down 0.45%. Tesla down a dime, like 0.11%. Let's see. You had Eli Lilly down 1%. J&J down 0.35%. So that's what I mean. It was like a nothing burger day, despite everything kind of being green to neutral. I just think everyone is kind of checked out for Labor Day weekend. What stuck out to me? Okay, K Hovnanian, ticker symbol H as in Harry, O as in Oreo, V as in Victor. They're a new home builder, one of the leaders. They were up 15% today, 1.5 on earnings. A home builder. You would think this is like Nvidia. I listened to 60% of the earnings call so far. I didn't listen to the Q&A. I looked at some of their slides. It looks like they had a great first half of the year. They are basically raising guidance for the back half of the year, and they're expecting 20% growth in earnings per share. So I am going to dig into this a little bit more. I may recruit Melody Wright. I'm going to at her on this Substack podcast on the show notes, and maybe she can get involved because she's becoming like a great resource for housing and real estate in general. So that really stood out to me. I'll link the full presentation that they shared today, as well as a few of the slides that stuck out to me. But they're basically saying that the first half of this year, their sales numbers are exceeding that of pre-COVID. So I really have to wonder who is buying all these homes. I would love to see if they break this down by geography, but they also shared a lot of great data on the sector against their peers within the group. So you can kind of take a look at those charts that I post in the show notes. If you're listening to this on Amazon Music or Apple Podcast or on Spotify, the show notes are not available there. You have to go to my Substack, which is nyugrad.substack.com, and you can find the show notes for every single podcast. Another thing that stuck out to me was, oh wow, I didn't go into breadth yet. All right, I'm going to go out of order here, but I usually do breadth first and then do what stuck out. I'm reversing that today, sorry. So what else stuck out? The Vegas International Reed Airport, they saw record numbers for June passengers. I don't think the July numbers are out yet. And there was also a report that their casinos in Las Vegas are breaking records, not like for the year, ever records of how much they're making on the gambling, like how much we are losing to the house. They across the state, they have 439 licensed casinos. They won from patrons, us, $1.4 billion in June, which is a record. So yeah, you might want to bet with a little bit less money when you go to Vegas because they're raking it in. I'll share a link to this article on the show notes as well. The last thing that stuck out, just from my industry contacts, I have heard about an IPO registration. It's not public yet. The company is called Klaviyo. The ticker symbol will be K as in, canine, V as in Victor, Y as in yellow, O as in Oscar. KVYO. That's going to be the ticker once it IPOs. It's a marketing automation company that helps B2B companies kind of track consumers and get the right ads at the right time. A lot of companies in this space, okay? But it seems that their ARR, which is annual recurring revenue of $585 million since last year, they're able to achieve that $585 million ARR with a tiny cash burn of $15 million. And I'm not sure if that $15 million burn is monthly or annually. Obviously, I don't have the filings, but just keep this on your radar. It's called Klaviyo with a K. The company's name is Klaviyo, spelled Klaviyo. I hate marketing automation. I hate advertising, which is one of the biggest draws for me to come over to Substack. But they're making good money, right? Like, I would love to see on their filings if they're profitable or not, or what is their customer acquisition cost, and how much are they losing per year if they're not making a profit, etc. So let me jump into the breadth numbers today. So jumping right in. Let's see. So today we had basically 215 new highs and 103 new lows. So very bullish, 2-to-1 ratio basically. We worked off a lot more progress here. 54% of shares on the NYSE, Amex, and NASDAQ are under the 50-day moving average. So every day it seems like we're improving, right? Because before it was like 72% under 50-day moving average. Then it was 68% under the 50-day moving average. Now we're at 54% under the moving average of 50 days. So we are chipping away at this, and the broad market is trying to bounce. So that's good news. One component that we are missing is volume, but you almost have to give a pass because of the holiday week and going into Labor Day. It'll be interesting to see how we close the week with the end of month. Are they going to still keep, fabricating, pushing a button to make their statements look good, or are we going to sell off into Friday over the long holiday weekend, before the holiday weekend? When I take a look at all the sectors, only one sector was red, which is utilities, and it was down 0.41%, but everything else was green. And again, we had technology and communication services leading the way. As you know, on Monday, I was complaining that, hey, basic materials was the leader. No one really wants to see that in a bull market. So technology is getting up in gear. That's great. The last component we need is volume. And, typically you want to see shares of things like NVIDIA, Tesla, Apple. Apple's harder because of how big it is. But like CRM, I think, reported good numbers today, Salesforce.com. You want to see like 1.5, 2 times average daily volume on these positive moves. Yields is kind of coming down. It's like a pressure release valve, right? Like yields has softened a little bit. I don't remember offhand today. I was in front of my my laptop all day, but I'll take a look right now. I know it's definitely under 4.2. It closed, or yields are at 4.11, so less than 4.3, right? And that's a big move, and that will help home builders in general too as a tailwind for them. I don't have too much else, guys. Like, I think how we close this week is going to say a lot. There is a ton of economic data that's still coming out this week. When I take a look at the calendar here, on Thursday, which is when you will be listening to this, we have initial jobless claims in the morning. We also have the PCE and the core PCE index at 8:30, and we have the Chicago Business Barometer at 9:45 New York time. And then Friday is basically non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, hourly wages. So I think Friday is going to be the day. If we were to react on economic news, that would be the day. But that is going to be all for today. I don't want to keep going just for the sake of extending this. So I will see you guys on the next podcast. Although things closed green today, I still feel like it was basically a wash day. Until I see volume come back, I'm still very... I don't trust this rally yet, especially on a week, on a slow holiday. I don't know. I don't trust it, guys and girls. But definitely check out the show notes. I'm going to reach out to Melody Wright about Hovnanian and their blockbuster earnings. I really want to see if she can give some context to this. And also watch crypto. Crypto was up Monday and it's softening now. It was strong Tuesday as well, but it's softening, and I'm not the best crypto trader, but I watch it because I believe like animal spirits and that bull impulse lives in things like AI, NVIDIA, tech, and especially in crypto. So watch crypto as well. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next podcast.